Hi everybody, Rick McEvoy here. Welcome to my YouTube channel and my weekly YouTube video. My name is Rick McEvoy. Well, who else was going to be on this channel? I'm not that famous yet, but one day there will be other people on there. And this week on my photography blog, fresh from returning from a 2-week trip to Parga, I am going to talk about photographing the sunrise in Parga, not surprisingly. And one of my favourite photos, which is this one here. This is the buildings of Parga. As you come into the harbour Parga's mainland Greece. It's not a Greek island, which is unusual for me, I know. But you're greeted by the Venetian style buildings as you come into Parga. It's a stunning scene, and we went there a couple of years ago on a day trip from Corfu. And that's how we went from Corfu to Parga and Paxos. And that's how I ended up going back to Paxos. I say we going back to Paxos, and me creating the website Paxos Travel Guide. That's how much I liked it. Now, thankfully for you lot, I'm not making a website about Parga because as nice as it is, I didn't like it as much as I did Paxos, but that's one for another time. I only did 2 morning sunrise shoots. That's as opposed to evening sunrise shoots. Sorry, I will get with this. I've been away, bear with. And that was one of my favourite photos. I am going to talk about my experiences photographing the sunrise. I mentioned a bit of it in the blog and some of the trials and tribulations. And I'm also going to work on the photos I took using my Olympus OM-D EM5 Mk2. This is something I'm going to have a little play around with in September and October. I'm going to have a go at, I'm going to teach myself how to use software by Skylum called Luminar, which I have, but I've never really got into. I need to give it time, and the perfect time is when I've come back from a trip and I've got loads of photos I want to process. So yeah, this photo is, it's the tighter view of the scene. You got the castle over here to the left. I'll put some other photos up so you get a better idea. But what do I like about this photo? Excuse the breathing, one of those days I'll get on top of this, hopefully. The interesting bit for me is the pattern in the water, and then obviously the reflection of the colours in the water. That's what I was after. This is taken about 8:30 in the morning local time, so the sun's been up for a while, but because of the orientation of Parga, the sun comes over here somewhere, so the castle gets it first and it gradually comes across this way. So at 8:30 is the first time that the sunlight on the buildings, you can see the direction of the sun from the shadows. So up until that point, photographing the sunrise, I mean, this is one of the points of the post, is photographing the sunrise doesn't have to include the sun in it. In fact, depending on the orientation of the location you're photographing, you might not have the sun in, like this one here. I wanted to pick out the colours, and I wanted the water and the reflection off the water. What I didn't expect was to get this, it's almost like a painting, it's like an oil painting pattern. That's been done by the camera, that's not been done by me. I used the high res mode, which on the Olympus OM5, the Olympus EM5 Mk2. It uses the image stabilization technology to take 8 photographs at slightly different, I mean, we're talking fractions of a pixel different, and then it shoves them all together and gives you this. A 40 megapixel camera, 40 megapixel photo from a micro four thirds camera. It's quite remarkable. What I didn't know was that if you want a RAW file, then you have to tell the camera that. It's a setting you have to add in yourself. The default setting is to produce a superfine JPEG, which is what this is. The quality is, yeah, it's good. It's, considering how small the sensor is on a micro four thirds camera, I think the quality is quite remarkable, and this is something that I am going to have a play around with. I'm actually going to do an architectural shoot later on today, which I'm going to use just the Olympus camera. So this effect, I didn't know I was going to get it. Do I like it? Well, it's different. Do I want it in all my photos? Not sure. Yeah, the next day I went back and I got the same scene with a RAW file. I wanted to start off with a JPEG really. I'll put all the camera settings and all that good stuff in the blog post. I won't bore you with it now. All I will say is that in terms of processing, I process this image in Lightroom. Here it is. Shift tab brings back the panels. I'll do screenshots of what I did, but to be honest with you, the processing was not a great deal. And we're back. So in the basic panel, like I say, I'll do screenshots of these to the blog post. Just some adjustments up and down, nothing dramatic. I also did a bit of luminance, no saturation. I just adjusted the brightness of some of the colours, which is a lovely little thing to be able to do. Detail, that's just the default. Subtle vignette, to be honest with you, that's all I did. It's not a lot. If I was just sat there processing an image just for publication, it would take me less than a minute probably to just fly through a couple of panels in Lightroom. So that's the photo. Lots more stuff to go at, which I'm quite excited to do. The yellow boat, I will write about the yellow boat because I just want to get to the yellow boat. That's Corfu town, lovely, lovely, lovely. Yes, travel photography. There's sorry, I'm just gonna. This is the church, photographed in near darkness. Again, that's a high res. That's actually a RAW file. Stunning. Looking forward to working on these. I just wanted to mention the yellow boat because part of the post is about the trials and tribulations of taking sunrise photos. And the photo of the yellow boat is on my iPhone. Ignore that. The problem I had was I was just preparing to take that scene that you saw, and I shall put a photo of the yellow boat in the blog post. A boat appeared and the guy sat there with his sunglasses on, looking at dude, looking at me, camera on the tripod, stood there, looking at him, looking at my watch, looking at the scene, looking through the viewfinder, and he sat there, and he sat there, and he sat there. After about 10 minutes, somebody came over and put a plastic bag on the boat. All good, I thought it's done now. The bloke went off again, came back 5 minutes later. They had a lengthy chat, put the next couple of carry bags of food on the boat, and finally off they went. Now, I should have said something. Yeah, I should. I'm English, we're reserved, we tend not to do that. We tend to just sit there politely and wait. Something I regret doing, because that's 20 minutes of my life I will never get back. Sure, I got a bit more morning sunshine on my bald bombs, but yeah, I had to wait 20 minutes for this boat to get out of the scene. Once the boat was gone, one photo off and done. Anyway, that's enough for this week. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. My subscriber numbers are very slowly and gradually increasing, which is good. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. Please check out my weekly photography blog, rickmcavoyphotography.com/blog. And also check out me on Pinterest, Rick McEvoy Photography. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you next week.